Henry Cavill. Big name, big muscles, and a strangely big number of box office disasters. Despite his considerable star power, Cavill's career has had its fair share of critical flops and box office disappointments, like not one but two box office bombs in 2024 alone. So, is his star fading, or has he just had some seriously rotten luck with projects? Cavill's career started off looking like it had serious potential. He got visibility in The Tudors and some early supporting roles, like in Stardust, for example, and it seemed like he might be on the path to stardom. But the breakout hit that would turn him into a household name kept slipping just out of reach. So when the opportunity to play Superman came along, it looked like he'd finally hit the jackpot. Enter Man of Steel, Cavill's big superhero moment. It wasn't a flop by any means, grossing $670 million worldwide on a $225 million budget. Warner Brothers even recouped nearly three-quarters of the budget through brand partnerships and product placements, banking on everything from Nokia to Carl's Jr. But when Cavill suited up for Batman vs. Superman and Justice League, the box office returns started to get messier. Batman vs. Superman raked in $873 million, but with a $300 million budget and $165 million in marketing, it barely met expectations. Justice League, with its messy production and all the behind-the-scenes drama, didn't fare any better, grossing $661 million against a break-even point of $750 million. It reportedly lost Warner Brothers a painful $60 million. So, instead of becoming Cavill's crowning achievement, the Superman role turned into a mixed bag of underwhelming box office results and critical backlash. And just like that, his Superman era left him branded as the leading man of some seriously costly disappointments. Here's the thing. Cavill was never exactly a bankable box office draw, but it didn't help that his big roles kept ending up in critical freefalls. Take Immortals, released all the way back in 2011. This one was a film that looked great but was quickly forgotten. With a $75 million budget and a box office total of $226 million, it wasn't a disaster, but a 49% score on Rotten Tomatoes didn't scream future superstar. Then we have The Cold Light of Day, released in 2012. A box office disaster, if ever there was one. A $20 million budget, and it scraped together $25.4 million worldwide with a whopping 4% on Rotten Tomatoes. And then there's Night Hunter, aka Nomis, released in 2018, a movie nobody even heard about. Despite a cast that included Ben Kingsley, Stanley Tucci, and Nathan Fillion, this Canadian indie managed to gross a grand total of $1 million. It was so under the radar that even hardcore Cavill fans probably missed it. And it doesn't stop there. Since his time in the DC cinematic universe, Cavill's found himself on a steady streak of disappointments. In 2024 alone, he had not one but two flops. In Argylle, though not the lead, he was plastered all over the marketing and it bombed at the box office, pulling in $96.2 million on a staggering $200 million budget. Then came The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare, a Guy Ritchie flick with a $60 million budget that only made $27.3 million. For the most part, it's hard to pin this on Cavill himself. Fans and critics alike generally agree that his acting chops aren't the problem. He just keeps getting dealt films that are written or directed into oblivion. Sure, he's been in some box office winners like Mission Impossible Fallout and Netflix's Enola Holmes franchise, but these were supporting roles where he wasn't carrying the weight of the film on his own. It's tempting to blame Cavill's choices for his career setbacks, but there's a bigger picture here. The days when an actor could make it big with mid-budget, star-driven films are long gone. Today's industry is powered by superhero franchises and intellectual property, not A-list stars. Back in the 80s and 90s, actors like Brad Pitt and Leonardo DiCaprio became household names by working in mid-budget films with established directors who knew how to make the actor the draw. Now, though, actors can land roles in billion-dollar franchises, but it's the brand like Marvel that sells the tickets, not necessarily the star power. Just remember how Robert Downey Jr. starred in post-Marvel Dr. Dolittle, and it absolutely crashed at the box office, costing the studio up to $100 million in losses. This puts Cavill in an odd spot. He's famous enough to be cast in massive films, but those films aren't being marketed around him. And once those franchises lose steam, the actors don't have the same weight they might have had in a different era. Do you guys think Cavill's got enough star power to break the streak and land the kind of role that doesn't rely on superheroes? Let's discuss.